What's going on, everybody? This is Steve from Bloom Audio. Today we're going to talk about the Astell&Kern SP3000M. One of my all-time favorite digital audio players is the Astell&Kern SA700. SA700 was this beautiful, compact player, basically crammed all the flagship features into this nice player, fit in your hand, was just perfectly pocketable and all of that. And the first time I picked up SP3000M really made me think of that SA700. Just like SA700, 3000M fits in your hand, is lightweight, but has all of those features and components that match up well with the top of the line players. So when we're comparing this 3000M and the best players out there right now, is it really their equal, kind of a lateral move, a step back, or is it in some ways a step forward? Let's take a closer look. SP3000M is a portable digital audio player that's actually portable. A lot of the DAPs out there right now that are supposed to be portable, really more transportable. They're easy to take from place to place and obviously run on a battery. But if you're talking about having this thing in the pocket of your sweatpants on a walk, or bringing it someplace like on a train, on a commute, and using it there, they're a little bit unwieldy and possibly uncomfortable for that sort of environment. SP3000M takes pretty much the full stack of SP3000 hardware, downsizes it, and puts it in your pocket so you can get that sound pretty much anywhere you'd want to go with it. Looking at some of those key specs, SP3000M uses the same Qualcomm 6125 as the SP3000, the same AK4191 EQ, dual setup with the quad AK4499, has the same 256 gigs of internal storage, does DSD native up to 512. Big difference here is that while SP3000 weighs just over a pound at 17.4 ounces, SP3000M is less than half that at 8.4 ounces. And that size is also significantly smaller. In terms of power and performance with different headphones, SP3000M pretty much matches up perfectly with the SP3000. The top end, you're looking at moderately hard to drive, easier to drive headphones. Things like the Meze Empyrean 2 or Lyric 2 are going to sound great down through those easier, more sensitive stuff. Some of Hi-Fi Man's lineup, like the Ananda or the Aria Organic, also sound really good. As you get down into more sensitive IEMs and that sort of thing, this is where the 3000 and 3000M really shine, of course, giving you that really pitch black, low noise background with some of those really sensitive IEMs that do tend to get noise with pretty much everything, like the Campfire Audio Fathom. I actually think M was slightly better at preserving that black background than the original SP3000. Now, that's not to say you won't notice a couple downgrades here. The screen is significantly smaller. 3000 had a 5.5-inch 1080p screen. 3000M has a 4.1-inch 720p screen. Another difference is the digital audio remaster feature. The DSD upsampling on 3000M only goes up to DSD 64, while on the original SP3000 that went up to DSD 256. If you've checked out any of Astell&Kern's recent players, 3000M is using the same interface and design here. The Crimson UI, which is an upgrade over the previous version. It's still focused primarily on that, downloaded digital collection, but has very nice, fast, snappy support for a variety of apps that you can instantly download and install on the device. You're still dealing with the walled garden approach, so you could only download or install apps which have been specifically selected by Astell&Kern to be available on the device. Even through side loading, you aren't able to install anything other than the apps they tell you can use through their open app service. So you can install, Tidal, Qobuz, Spotify, Apple Music, any number of streaming apps, but you're not going to be able to install Netflix or Disney Plus. They do have a YouTube feature on there through an app they call V-Link, but you're not able to download the full YouTube or YouTube Music apps. And this is one place I'm feeling that Astell&Kern's model is starting to feel a little bit dated. If you've got an iBasso or a Cayenne device, for example, you're able to install any app you would like. So if you have one of the larger players, like one with a 5.5-inch screen, you can download Netflix on there. And in addition to music, you can enjoy all of that great audio hardware for movies as well. But Astell&Kern is really committed to that music first and I guess music only philosophy, which is really limiting your ability to use any of these devices for video at all. One big upgrade that Astell&Kern made here from a UI perspective that was originally only available on the Con Ultra is they've added the ability to log into password protected public networks. So if you've ever been at a hotel or an event or something that has their Wi-Fi, where the Wi-Fi network itself is open, then once you connect to the Wi-Fi, it opens your web browser and you have to enter in a password. Previously, Astell&Kern players didn't have a web browser on them, so they weren't able to open that up to enter in the password. SP3000M and Con Ultra previously have the option to open up that browser and enter the password, which is a pretty big improvement, especially since we do a lot of events at places like CanJam, in hotels, that use Wi-Fi networks like this, and it's a big help when you have these greater capabilities. So taking all these things into consideration, the price, the form factor, the features, and some of the limitations, who is SP3000M for? Now you can tell I've spent way too much time in high-end audiophile circles because my first thought when say, who is this for? I'd say, well, everyone obviously should just go out and buy this. But obviously, while it seems discounted by Astell&Kern standards, the $2,300 price tag is still pretty high. It's more than $1,000 less than the original SP3000, $700 less than the 3000T, which again, that puts that in a good spot considering the features, sound quality, and all that other stuff, but it's a pretty pricey player. In terms of the sound, SP3000M is SP3000. It has the insane detail, the resolution, big sound stage, and highly holographic, vivid, lifelike imaging. Now, I did sense some small differences, I think primarily in that sense of weight and body. The original 3000 just had a little bit more sense of a physicality to the imaging there than 3000M does. Looking at the SP3000T, I actually preferred the SP3000M over 3000T's solid state mode. They're very similar in sound again. I felt M was a little bit more detailed and it captured that very Astell&Kern sort of highly refined upper range, upper mids, and treble, where you get every ounce of information up there without feeling harsh. I felt the T in solid state mode had a little bit more tendency to become harsh at times. Obviously turn on the tubes and that goes away, and that's giving you more of a warm sound that shifts it from what the M is doing. But in that direct comparison of the solid state modes, I preferred M. So to answer that question, who is this for? It's for someone who's shopping in that high-end market. They want the sound. They want that Astell&Kern level of refinement and build quality, but they aren't as concerned about the visual wow factor as someone who's gonna really want to go for that full SP3000 or 3000T experience, and they're more concerned with the functionality of the device, being able to bring it on the go. Those of us with really fat fingers, though, might want to watch out with the smaller keyboard and the smaller screen. With all that in mind, should you buy the SP3000M? So SP3000M is a smaller player, the more practical design that's got 99% of the sound and features of the flagship player at like 60% of the price. So it seems like, pretty much a slam dunk if you're looking at buying a player in this price range. So rather than try to cover everyone who should buy it, I figured it was actually easier to look at people who maybe shouldn't look at buying the SP3000M. So to start, if you're not really into headphones, IEMs, or the audiophile hobby in general, probably shouldn't buy an SP3000M. If you just don't have the budget for a $2,000 player, probably shouldn't buy an SP3000M. If your headphone collection is all very hard to drive planar magnetic headphones, you probably shouldn't buy an SP3000M. If you want a player that's going to give you options for streaming video and other apps along with music, probably shouldn't buy an SP3000M. Or if you already have an SP3000 and don't really have any need for a lighter, more compact version, you probably shouldn't buy an SP3000M. Otherwise, in terms of sound, practicality, and features, this is probably the best all-around player in Astell&Kern's lineup right now and one of the best options on the market. Thanks for watching. You can check out SP3000M and a lot of other great products at bloomaudio.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll be back soon with more high-fidelity audio content.